It's a beautiful crisp morning. We've been up early. There's a hoarfrost, all the vegetation is glistening in the sunshine. Beautiful mist rising over the reserve. At the moment we've got whooper swans in the background behind me. We've good numbers, about 15,000 pink-footed geese visiting the reserve. But it hasn't always been like this. We have had to manage the land to suit the wildlife that visit us. So I'm Pete Bullen. I started here when I was 16, straight from school. I did 42 years at the same place, which is quite unusual, before I retired in April 18. When I very first started, I worked for the grounds department, so working with the captive birds that we keep here from all over the world. Also helping out on the reserve with haymaking and things like that. So we bought the land in 1974. It was very, very wet and very rough grazing ground. So it was mainly Phragmites reed and a lot of dilapidated cattle fencing, so wooden posts with barbed wire, old cattle troughs, but it was in really quite poor condition when we first bought it. Pink-footed geese were already visiting the area. Not quite sure of the numbers, but probably certainly in the thousands. And apart from that, I think it was fairly poor as far as numbers of birds were concerned. But it was mainly pink-footed geese that were sort of the big number that were visiting at the time. Virtually no swans, just the occasional group would drop in and then move out again fairly soon. Obviously, with it being a wetland reserve, water's vital to the whole operation, and we rely heavily on our pumping station. It's like the heart of the whole reserve, and because we can control water, we can control the amount of water on fields at different times of year. So in the winter months, we run all the water levels at maximum height, so that we've lots of water bodies for the wintering wildfowl to settle on and roost during the evening times, but also to feed on. And then in the springtime we start to lower those levels gradually as migrating waders are arriving and the swans and ducks are leaving back to their breeding grounds. So this means that it's almost like having two completely different reserves at different times of the year, but that's all down to being able to control the water levels. If we couldn't do that, then it would be a very different place. In the 42 years that I've worked at WWT Martin Mere, it's changed completely from almost a waste ground with very rough grazing and dilapidated barbed wire fences, abandoned wagons, and it's now become a Ramsar site and also a site of special scientific interest. So it's a real success story for the whole reserve. I've met some amazing people like Sir Peter Scott, David Attenborough, and I even met my wife here, and we've been happily married for 39 years. Now I come back visiting with my kids and grandkids and bore them to death, telling them about all the different projects that I've done.